Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and thank you. I want to thank you for requesting the prophecy, and had a huge need for finances this week, and wondered how I was going to get through. And your prophecy request came true, and was really a blessing to me. And I want to thank you for trusting me to bring a word of the Lord to you. So thank you so much for blessing me, and I pray that this prophecy will really bless you. I see you as I see like a vision or an image of a little boy jumping up underneath an apple tree and pulling off red apples, and he's just jumping up in the tree and pulling apples off and putting them on the ground. And if you're watching him, you think that he's just a naughty little boy pulling all the apples off. And then after you're watching him for a while and you've judged the boy and saying he's just a naughty boy pulling all the apples off, he goes and disappears and comes back with a trolley and collects all the apples and takes them down to an older man in a packing shed, and the older man picks them up and is really frail and is packing them and looks like he's a grandson or a great grandson. The old man is a really old man. The old man looks like he's just about to die, and the young child looks like that day he's the only help. And what's an old man doing a serious job packing apples, and what's a little boy who really can't really reach up in the thing jumping off? And it's an image of this world. Um, the church has become ineffective and old and almost dead, and the people who want to do all the work just aren't equipped and don't know how to do it. And one of your roles is to teach little boys how to grow up and become supernatural, and go and get helpers and learn how to climb up trees and bring more friends around to pack the apples. So this image, I'll just unpack it for you. That you've got a real hunger to bring in the harvest. You've got a real hunger to do the work of the ministry. You've got a real desire to get the job done. But you found that you're not being used effectively. You haven't been taught effectively. And the infrastructure is falling down like the old man is. He's not gonna, if this is how this farm produces a living, well, only 1/10 of the apples are being picked because the other ones are higher up, and the infrastructure is going to collapse. The packing man in the packing shed. So this image of the church right now, that the church is dead and ineffective, and there's no training for people to witness or to heal or to write books or produce films or communicate the message of Jesus. And you're the person. You're not the little boy, although you are the little boy. And but it's like you're looking at this scene and saying, there's so many things that need to be done, and who's going to do this, and who's going to do this, and who's going to do this. And the church structure, how it is not interested in evangelism. It's not interested in saving people. It's not interested in helping poor people. It's not interested in reaching out to people. And and you're like the old man. You just want to give up and go to heaven. And at the moment, the current climate, as things get dark and violent in the world, people just want to escape and go home. And they feel that they're 86 and just about to go. The whole church is old and wanting to go in a rapture. And meanwhile, there's a great harvest that's going to come in this. If you look away from this apple tree, there's trees and trees and trees, but Jesus said very clearly, the harvest is ripe, but the workers are few. And on this farm could never be picked, and it just mustn't have to have a good income because the team is just not working. And the current church, isn't working. Something new is going to happen. And you're keenly aware that the leadership in the church isn't up to the job and not interested in the job and just wants to go home. And you're keenly aware that you're a worker, but there's no one equipping and training. And this frustrates you. And you're the person who's meant to run the church, and you're the person who's meant to equip the people and train the people, and you're the person who's meant to evangelize the people. You're meant to bring in the harvest and then teach others how to bring in the harvest. You're the answer to this picture. You can see it, you know what has to be done, and you're going to solve it. And there's like a dichotomy, there's like things that just don't make sense. And I'm hoping that this prophecy makes sense to you, that you can see the solution, you can see what's lacking, you can see what needs to be done. Like, it's not as though the little boy and the farmer need the income, because they obviously don't, because the thing's not working. It's just that so many people need to be fed by those apples, and the world is starving and needing food and needing love and needing answers and needing solutions. And someone's got to give the answers to the world. And so there's this tension in you that no one's there training you, no one's teaching you. Everything that you've learned in ministry has been learned by books or learned off the Spirit of God or learned personally off other people, but you've never had anyone really accept you in a church, in the structure. No one's really been interested in your heart or what you want to do, and no one's listening to you. And it's frustrating. And it's frustrating to God too. And nothing's changed. There's a harvest that needs to come in, and there's still no workers, and no one equipping the workers. There's just no one equipping them. And even if there were workers who are willing, and there's a lot of people who want to change the world and do something, especially people who aren't Christians, but no one's training them how to do it. I've read, I've written 58 books and self-published books, and spent $140,000 doing it. And all my books are training people how to live the proper Christian life, but no one trained me how to write a book. But now I've helped a few people write a book, and now a friend of mine has written 4 books. It's not until you've done the job and done the job very well that you can train people how to do the job. And if truth be known, although this is Matthew speaking to you, there's another person, a famous Australian musician, who's bringing the message in this prophecy. So you can see me speaking and you can hear my voice. But there's a famous Australian singer called Natalie who's giving me the words to speak to you. And I was a Christian who lost my faith until years ago, until Matthew reached out to me. And this is the first time I've prophesied. And so this is an amazing thing that I'm doing my first prophecy. And it's going so well. And but it can only happen because someone was there to help me and someone was there to give me a chance. And you're a person who can do so many things. You can run a church, you can heal people, you can organize teaching groups, you can witness, you can heal people, you can cast out demons. But no one's ever helped you to do all those things and learn all those things. And even with all those skills, you need finances, you need an infrastructure, you need the packing shed to bring the people to. Um, and you've almost given up a few times and just said, why bother? Why do I even worry? No one seems to care. And this this frustration has driven you into the heart of Jesus. And it says in the Bible that we develop the mind of Christ. And over the last few years, as the frustration has built, you've started to feel the heart and the mind of Christ on this issue. And He's promised you in former prophecies, other prophecies that you've got, that you're going to do this great work. And He promised you in Ephesians 3:20, you can do exceedingly abundantly more than you can ask or think. And some of the prophecies that you've received in the past have been huge, but you just don't know how you're going to get from where you are to there. And there's a verse in the Bible that says Enoch uh, lived and pleased God, and he was taken. And without faith, no one can please God. And this situation that you're living in with no answers and no training and no one seems to care, the tension and the stress and the worry about that is giving you Jesus' heart for people and Jesus' love for people and Jesus' concern for the world. And you're feeling Jesus' frustration. You think it's your own, but it's His. And you're seeing through His eyes and you're understanding things through His wisdom. And so Matthew can help you. I realize that this is Natalie speaking, but Matthew can help you if you haven't done a prophecy. You can just meet Matthew in a Zoom group, and he can pray for you, and you can do a prophecy. It's that easy. As a Christian, I've been to clairvoyance, and I've been involved in darkness and seen psychics. As a Christian, I've got one prophecy in my life before, and it was pretty helpful. But no one ever trained me to prophesy, and Matthew's just prayed a prayer for us to receive the power of the Holy Spirit a few days ago. And I noticed another singer, popular singer, who was in darkness, do two prophecies yesterday, and I wanted to do it because I want to bless someone. And so just be encouraged that someone knows how you feel. And if you want to contact Matthew, you can do your first prophecy, and he's someone who will train you and give you a couple of opportunities to do a prophecy and get some feedback. Hold on. Just hold on. Trust God. There's no easy answer, but you're learning your jobs, and soon you're going to be training people. And you're going to be a little boy, wander into a whole lot of new little boys one day in the next 18 months. You're going to find a few friends and you're going to share your story with them, and there's going to be 3 or 4 little boys, and together you're going to put ladders up, and you're going to start something, and you're going to start with a small band of disciples, and you're going to build something really big, and the kingdom is going to advance. And so be patient. You're still training, you're still learning, you're still learning the mind of God. But the promises spoken in the prophecies that have come before are going to come to pass. But, when you're sanding wood, you've got to sand and sand and sand and sand and sand. You can't just run sandpaper over a piece of wood and it be perfect. So you can't expect something excellent to happen without any work. And Matthew's training people to do prophecy, and we're doing our first prophecy. And even a couple of his friends have said his prophetic gift has gone to a new level. Well, it's our prophetic gift is that new level, and this is the first time I've prophesied, and Matthew's done 25,000 prophecies. So how could we be better? And That's because he's a master teacher, and we've got a tremendous Holy Spirit. And this Holy Spirit that talks with you and walks with you and gives you peace and presence, he's the teacher, and he'll go and collect all the other little boys, and soon enough, in 2 or 3 years' time, you'll have a whole team of people that you're training and working with to bring in the harvest. Uh, I'd really be encouraged if you could send Matthew an email and give me some feedback as much as you can on this prophecy, just to encourage me that I did a good job. One of the hardest things when you're learning to prophesy that Matthew knows and I didn't know is to feel confident that you did a good job. And without feedback, um, you don't know whether that really was right. And I know Matthew's speaking to me saying that was dead on, but it would really bless me. It would really encourage me for you to write a paragraph and give me feedback in an email, or if you're a member of YouTube, write a comment on this. God bless you, and if you're watching this prophecy, um, write a comment or write an email to Matthew, his email address, and say, I want a prophecy of Natalie, and I'll make sure that I do it for you. God bless.